is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
So, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, as I said last week, it is one big NFL blinking contest. Who is going to pull their trigger first?
Nick Morgasen.
Eventually we get to a place now where both sides are rabid babies who want their pacifiers because they have to cry over who they want first. And now we're going to have no baseball for a season.
And Nick Fodera.
Bettman's always been the kind of person to not recognize the controversy until it's literally 10 inches from his face.
Empty the Bench starts now.
We're going on a strike. We're going on a strike. It's a rarity. It's me at the end of the intro.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Empty the Bench, episode 110. Tom Albano, Nick Fodera, Nick Morgasen. Gentlemen, I hate to end the good vibes early. I hate to cut you guys off, but we have too much we got to get through. Let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. We have a lot of stories to discuss. We have the Raiders falling into free fall. We have the Robert Sarver story that ESPN that we were waiting for that has finally dropped. We have the Gary Bettman to talk about. We had the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series to talk about, and that's the 7th story. We're not even going to get to that until quite later in the show. But first, we have to start with all the drama that is going on with Aaron Rodgers. So, since we have left you guys last week, Aaron Rodgers has tested positive for COVID-19. He is out for Week 9. He, with the minimum 10 days, is going to be eligible to return the day before the Week 10 matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. So either he will get into that game without any practice, or he will miss that game as well. Jordan Love is confirmed to make his NFL debut, not his NFL debut, his NFL starting debut tomorrow in the big game against the Kansas City Chiefs, which, again, Kansas City Chiefs game, a game against the Arizona Cardinals. If Aaron Rodgers misses both, that's a huge blow to those games. And it has also since been revealed that reportedly Aaron Rodgers had made comments in an August press conference that said he had been immunized, but has since revealed to basically have lied about his vaccination status.
I mean, we're in such a place right now where this story is blowing up social media. By the way, I'll get this out of the way.
RELAX.
Because I know that Aaron Rodgers is not doing any of that right now, but I'm so horrified by the way Aaron Rodgers is acting. First of all, F you, Aaron Rodgers. That's my opinion. First of all,
well, if you're gonna go with the spelling scheme, let's go with BLOWME.
Oh, okay, we could go with that too, but that's an interesting way of putting it, but okay. But we have a lot of audio to get to. We're going to break this down tooth and nail and give you every piece of information. He was on a couple of shows on Thursday, and he was on Dan Patrick, but he was really on Pat McAfee. That's his big time stage. Usually he's on the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio on Tuesdays. He made a special appearance on Friday and basically decided to do a 50-minute TED Talk. I mean,
ladies and gentlemen, the man has gone completely insane. Now, we have clips for context. Context is always necessary. So,
but before we go there, I'm just going to get this out of the way as well.
I mean, that's the theme for today's show anyways.
Yeah.
But we have a lot to get to. So let's talk about what we're going to break down. So he was on Pat McAfee for 50 minutes, so essentially an hour. He went on. He told his side of the story. He thought that he was Dr. Aaron Rodgers, by the way, because he decided to give us a whole lesson on how vaccines work and how allergies work and how the media and Green Bay media and the team and the NFL knew, even though the NFL has confirmed to the chagrin of everybody that he was unvaccinated.
Oh, God.
So this is not a winnable situation.
No, this is not a winnable situation. No one looks good coming out of this.
I just like that. That's my whole reaction to this. You know what? Before we go any further, let's play the first clip. Now, this one is talking. Now, Nick, this drove you crazy. This drove me crazy. He talks about woke cancel culture, right, Nick? And he basically goes to a place where I'm being canceled. I'm being mistreated. Blah, 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 blah.
Sorry to interrupt, but to confirm, because I have the clips in front of me, the only way I can tell the difference is by Pat McAfee's silly-looking hand motions. Is this the one where he looks like he's driving and not the one that looks like where he's dancing?
I'm not 100% sure, but it's the one it's the first one on the left of the two. I just know it's that one. So let's listen to this one first. You're going to go a little nutsy, and we wouldn't blame you if you go nutsy because he describes cancel culture as a white. So take a listen to this one first.
I realize I'm in the crosshairs of the woke mob right now. So before my final nail gets put in my cancel culture casket, I think I'd like to set the record straight on so many of the blatant lies that are out there about myself right now. And I appreciate the opportunity to tell my side of the story on here. First of all, I didn't lie in the initial press conference. During that time, it was a very, witch hunt that was going on across the league where everybody in the media was so concerned about who was vaccinated and who wasn't and what that meant and who was being selfish and who would talk about it and what it meant if they said it's a personal decision. They shouldn't have to disclose their own medical information and whatnot. And at the time, my plan was to say that I've been immunized. It wasn't some sort of ruse or lie. It was the truth. And I'll get into the whole immunization in a second. But had there been a follow-up to my statement that I've been immunized, I would have responded with this. I would have said, look, I'm not, some sort of anti-vax flat earther. I am somebody who's a critical thinker. You guys know me. I march to the beat of my own drum. I believe strongly in bodily autonomy and the ability to make choices for your body, not to have to acquiesce to some woke culture or crazed, group of individuals who say you have to do something. Health is not a one-size-fits-all for everybody.
I mean, what? What?
Ladies and gentlemen, I have seen some dumb statements in sports in my time as a if you want to call a sports media personality in my 5 years doing this. This has to be one of the top 5 dumbest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. Because look, I've said before that people complaining about cancel culture and acting the perennial victim to the woke mob, quote unquote, is as if there is such a thing, are infinitely more annoying than anybody who could ever cancel anybody else.
No.
You just have to look at Aaron Rodgers' bank account to know if he's canceled or not. Okay?
And by the way, consider his chances of ever being the Jeopardy host 0% now.
Oh, I'm very, very, very grateful to the Jeopardy producers stepping on their own dicks because apparently it's a great asshole detector.
You know what? Nick, you said it best.
Congratulations, dickweeds. No, because you know what? Look, bodily autonomy. First of all, he says he did his own research.
No,
research conducted on Facebook does not count as research.
Time out.
It barely even counts as looking things up.
Time out. I said this to you guys last week. Going on Google search, going on any generic search engine and saying, tell me what's in the COVID-19 vaccine. That doesn't count as research.
There is an ingredients list that the CDC put out.
Going on any sort of website where somebody can promote that John F. Kennedy and John F. Kennedy Jr. are going to resurrect on the grassy knoll near which John F. Kennedy was assassinated is not research.
It's not. It's absolutely
and
not.
COVID-19 is actually caused by 5G towers.
That's it.
there's definitely a lot of critical thinking going on upstairs, Aaron Rodgers.
Hey,
I gotta tell you, that's just it's a bastion, an oasis of free thought. Thank you, congratulations.
I mean,
congratulations. Seriously, you've done enough.
I'm going to steal a line from you, Nick. Like, what's next? Is he going to talk about the Earth being flat or the lizard people being real?
He even pointed that out. He even said, "I'm not like them. I'm a free thinker. By the way, don't give me the vaccine. I'm allergic."
Well,
which I'm willing to bet is a fucking lie.
We'll get to that in a second. But first,
look at all the failure.
I mean, look at all the failure. The NFL is a failure. The Packers are a failure. Aaron Rodgers is a failure. Roger Goodell's a failure. Everyone's a failure.
Go to the next clip.
I mean,
let's get to the allergy one.
A bitch yet.
Okay, so to set this one up, Aaron talks about, I think it's called the RNA vaccines, which are the Pfizer and the Moderna. I mean, mRNA vaccines, which are the Pfizer and the Moderna, 2 out of the 3 approved, technically, vaccines. So he says he can't get them. And the third one he won't get due to clotting, which is J&J. So let's hear that first.
Okay.
Simply the fact that I have an allergy to an ingredient that's in the mRNA vaccines. So on the CDC's own website, it says, should you have an allergy to any of the ingredients, you should not get one of the mRNA vaccines. So those 2 were out already. So my only option was Johnson & Johnson. At this time, in the early spring, I had heard of multiple people who had adverse events around getting the J&J. Nothing that was no deaths or anything, but just some really difficult times and physical abnormalities around the J&J shot. And then in mid-April, the J&J shot got pulled for clotting issues, if you remember that, right? So the J&J shot was not even an option at that point. So then my options became, okay, what can I do to protect myself and my teammates if there's not one of the big 3 options for me in my own body? And so I looked into and talked again to a lot of medical individuals and professionals and found that there was an immunization protocol that I could go to best protect myself and my teammates. And it was a long-term protocol that involved multiple months. And I'm very proud of the research that went into that, the individuals that I met with, and we felt like it was what was best for me.
I mean,
I have several questions here. I have several.
I have one reaction first.
I have several. Okay, so he's talking about that this was in the early spell. First of all, actually, let me get to my first question. Nick Fodera, our mock epidemiologist, the only one who could be closest to being an epidemiologist. Is it true of what he says that because he is allergic to something? Well, first of all, we don't know if that's true, but should it be true, is he therefore disqualified from the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines?
Yes, technically, but if that's the case, then why didn't you file for a medical exemption? And the other thing about the J&J vaccines, the reason why they pulled it off is because of inflammation that had. I think it was inflammation that had adverse reaction to the shot, which they found out. How many people did it actually affect? 6 out of the thousands that had already gotten the shot.
Oh wait,
and all of them were interacted with birth control pills.
I have a question.
Rodgers is not on birth control pills.
As far as we know.
That would be a little scary. But anyway.
Knowing him and his medical expertise, he probably thinks he is. Or he actually is.
I mean, knowing him, he probably took a placebo pill rather than a birth control pill, but that's a whole different issue.
Funny how he says about all this research. He doesn't say what that research is or what he did.
Google. It's Google.
And it's contacting Joe Rogan.
Wait a minute. It is confirmed that he did take ivermectin.
Yes, because mainlining horse paste is definitely going to help you.
All right, can we wait a minute, Nick?
But now there's another question I have.
Wait. I need to confirm one thing before you, because I actually went and clarified this. You do know there's a human grade ivermectin, right?
Yes, but it is used for parasitic infections. COVID is not a parasite.
Okay, I just want to confirm because you said horse paste.
Now,
yes, thank you, Captain Pedantic. We're trying to make points here.
Now, here's my next question, which none of the three of us are going to be able to answer. He's talking about the alternative treatment or whatever. He never really goes in depth, does he? About
Actually,
He doesn't say it at all.
wait a minute. He does talk about, I don't remember where in the interview, but that he got a non-approved treatment that was not approved by the NFL. So that's why he's considered unvaccinated.
again. But what is it?
He won't reveal it. He won't reveal it.
But that's the issue. We need details.
And I swear to God, because I saw it trending on Twitter on the same day, I saw HIPAA trending on Twitter. Fuck your HIPAA. I can give two shits.
That's not what that means, by the way. Every time they use that in that context, it's not what that means.
You know what? I had a situation
like the First Amendment, like the Second, like every amendment of the Constitution.
Excuse me.
Don't know what it means when they bring it up.
When I was at my former employment and I got COVID, okay, and there were 12 other cases that ended up with COVID, and I said to them, you better tell me if I was around the person that I got COVID, not the exact name, but was I around them? And they told me it's HIPAA. And I said, no, it's not. It's not HIPAA. I work in the same office as the person who had it. But I had another question.
I'll make your points.
Okay. And then one other thing. It's a crazy thought, but let me get it out there. He said that this took place in the early spring. Now, you could have the argument, that he could have taken it in June or July after the J&J stuff had been cleared up and such. As for the medical exemption, I don't know if the NFL is really approving of the medical or religious exemptions.
No, they don't. And he apparently, the one thing that the clips didn't get into was because he showed the NFL this research, and he said they looked at him like he was crazy.
Right.
Let's file that under N for no shit.
Well, since we're talking about NFL procedures, that's the next one I put up in here. And this got very, very pedantic and very, very specific.
I need to make one last point before we get into this clip. I want to stay on that fact that it was early spring. Gentlemen, do you remember what happened during the spring that Aaron Rodgers was in the news?
The contract dispute?
The dispute that he wanted out of so think about it in this state. Was his thinking, whether it's him or his agent or any, that if something like this got out, his vaccination or whatever, that it would negatively affect him wanting to leave Green Bay?
So he purposely kept a lid on it? Is that what you're saying?
That's a little tinfoil hat-ish, a little bit.
I don't think so, but I don't think so. Well, again, whether it's tinfoil hat or not is immaterial.
Well, wait a minute.
We're living in tinfoil land here.
Wait. I'm just trying to understand. Are you saying that he kept it under wraps because he was almost trying to find his way out of Green Bay? Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, well, he says there's a witch hunt. I don't know if at the time we were questioning Aaron Rodgers and the vaccination stat. All we knew was that, he wanted out of Green Bay.
And
There
before
wasn't anybody who was questioning that, I'm telling you right now.
And I
They
want
gave him the benefit of the doubt because he said he was immunized.
I want to make this very clear, okay? I don't want to hear your political. No, I'm not talking about you guys, but everybody. I don't want to hear political points of view. I don't want to hear your politics of COVID. We're talking about the situation of lying about taking a COVID vaccine. That's what we're talking about here.
Putting your other players at risk.
So
People that may be immunocompromised. So if they get COVID, what happens?
So F your politics. I could give two craps about your politics. This has nothing to do with politics. It has to do with keeping people healthy and not dying with the other 700,000 people who've died from this thing.
Even if you don't die, COVID is not something you want to get. So really, it's a public health issue, not a political football.
But and in this next clip, the NFL procedures, he talks about how the NFL procedures are not 100% up to par. And it gets really bizarre. Listen to what Aaron says about the procedures.
Some of the rules to me are not based in science at all. They're based purely in trying to out and shame people, like needing to wear a mask at a podium when every person in the room is vaccinated and wearing a mask makes no sense to me. If you got vaccinated to protect yourself from a virus that I don't have as an unvaccinated individual, then why are you worried about anything that I can give you? And let me hit on protocols now, because that's obviously been out there as well. I have followed every single protocol to a T, minus that one I just mentioned, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But my daily routine is the routine of an unvaccinated person, which is I have to, test early before, starting the season. Vaccinated people test once every 2 weeks, non-vaccinated once a day, which, again, that's not based in science at all. You can have vaccinated people who actually carry and spread the virus, not testing for 2 weeks, and non-vaccinated people are the safest people in the building because we're the ones who are testing every single day and wearing masks the entire time.
I mean, can we prep the circus music for what the hell is going on here? I mean, holy shit!
I mean, we can't all be medical experts like Mr. Joe, his friend Mr. Joe Rogan, of course.
But
We're all just mentally, we're small people compared to him.
wait a minute. For the rest of this interview, I don't want you to just call him Aaron Rodgers. I want you to call him Dr. Aaron Rodgers, because that's
we really need to get an epidemiologist on this show just to refute this point by point.
No, but it's Dr. Rodgers, Dr. Aaron Rodgers from now on, because he thinks he's a doctor. He thinks, and he's disputing everything with scientific information.
Congratulations, your medical degree is made out of cardboard.
What is going on here?
I didn't know Bishop of Sycamore opened up a university with a medical school and everything.
Oh, please. This is stuff you wouldn't even see in Arizona State.
I mean, damn it. Like, what is going on here? I mean, I don't know. What's left? Let's see. We have the team.
Let me ask our closest to being an epidemiologist those last points where he's saying that the unvaccinated people, at least they're testing daily, and the vaccinated people, they can't. Well, it's true. Vaccinated people can technically carry, but to say that they're safer, I mean, the unvaccinated are safer because they test.
Again, everything. First of all, I need to add as a caveat, I'm not an epidemiologist. I'm just really paranoid about my own health. So,
like we all are.
Right.
But there's been breakthrough cases with vaccinated people. So it's possible to get the vaccine anyway.
No vaccine is 100% effective.
But to say and I get it. And I get it. The unvaccinated people are testing every day, so you're more likely to catch something quicker. But to call them safer?
Because it's a zero-sum game to him.
Well,
either you don't have it or you do.
Well, I thought this next clip would be accurate. So he talks about Alan Lazard and Davante Adams and how, they got COVID, so their immune systems are better now because they have COVID.
Yeah, so let's give full context. So Davante Adams tested positive for COVID. Now, Alan Lazard, I don't think he did. I think he was considered, close contact. Yeah. So he was out. So they were out for, the last couple of games?
He was out for one game, and so was
Lazard.
And Scantling, I think, was out for a game too.
Right. So there was a close now, apparently Davante Adams is vaccinated. The other two are not, but the other two were close contact. They were not on the.
They're saying it's close contact. Could this have been Aaron Rodgers?
I said Davante Adams tested.
No. I'm saying but I'm saying they said they came in close contact with people. Could this have been Aaron Rodgers, but it wasn't broken news yet?
No, you're missing my point. Davante Adams tested positive.
Yes, that's right. But I'm just saying
they're all wide receivers. They're in the wide receiver group. Now, as far as could Aaron Rodgers have gotten the COVID from Davante Adams, because technically they all share one locker room. You're talking about 53 plus guys in one locker room. It's not exactly
But this clip is so great. I laughed at this one the most because he's trying to say that because Davante Adams had it and Alan Lazard had it, that they have better immunity than people who are being vaccinated.
Let's just get into the clip. Let's stop arguing. Let's let the clip speak for itself.
When it comes to the science again for non-vaccinated, it came up last week because Alan Lazard was a close contact to Devontae Adams, and Allen is not vaxxed, and they obviously tried to cancel him for that, but they also didn't bring up the fact that he tested negative every single day. So just because he was close contact and not vaxxed, this is what the league has done: is they've made it, hard for people, to have a decision because you're close contact. That means you're out for 5 days. Not based on any science, other than we're going to just keep this propaganda narrative going that unvaccinated people are the most dangerous people in society.
I mean, huh?
Future Fox News correspondent Aaron Rodgers, everybody.
I mean,
the league. Remember what we said about the NFL with COVID originally? That basically that we said that they were going to make it hell for those who were not unvaccinated, but we were saying that this isn't a vaccine PSA show, but get it.
We didn't think it would be Aaron Rodgers to be the one, and if you think the Packers didn't know this, I've got a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn.
I mean, excuse me as I'm choking over this news, that basically the NFL is partially to blame for this situation in a lot of ways. That because you have to share the information, whether you're vaccinated or not, with the league. They could have shared this news before Aaron Rodgers and all of it was found out.
But again, the Packers knew, and they didn't do anything. They didn't care.
I mean, this is a whole big joke on the NFL.
Well, supposedly, according to Mr. Rodgers, and this isn't in one of the clips here, but apparently the league, he said that the league came with a representative, and basically publicly shamed the Packers for being, I think it was 19th in the league in vaccination rate. And according to Dr. Rodgers, he called him out on some things and apparently got thanked by the rest of his locker room.
Yeah, I'm willing to believe that didn't happen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just go ahead and assume that didn't happen, because there's nothing that man seems to love more than playing a victim when he's just being a big baby.
I mean, it's like Tom and I both did in our ETB minutes when we were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Hey, Aaron, why don't you take a discount on your ego and double check it at the door?
How about you? How about you go get yourself one of those nice tinfoil suits that you want to live in?
Yeah, seriously. He's wearing a tinfoil suit. Head to toe, decked out in tinfoil. He's literally this close to ranting about lizard people.
I mean, we have one more clip. I know we're a little over.
One of his receivers is on Lizard.
I mean, Jesus, he's this close to ranting. There's a gnome in my toilet, and he can read my thoughts.
Okay, let's just get to this last clip.
All right, so this one is about the media. Basically, the media knew, the Packers knew, the NFL knew. I don't understand why no one else knew. Go ahead, take a listen.
Everyone in the squad knew I was not vaccinated. Everyone in the organization knew I wasn't vaccinated. I wasn't hiding it from anybody. I was trying to minimize and mitigate having to have this conversation that would go on and on. And there were people in the media who somehow found out about it and been sitting on it for a couple months. So it wasn't like this thing was just hidden until this week. Like, people knew it and they sat on it. At some point, I knew I was going to have to discuss it, and I was ready to discuss it. But the problem with this is it is so political, and health should not be political. It shouldn't be that Trump endorsed ivermectin and HCQ, and so take that shit off. It doesn't work. I mean, in general, I think we all should have been a little hesitant when Trump in 2020 was championing these vaccines that were coming so quick. What did the left say? And I'm talking about every member of the left. Don't trust the vaccine. Don't get the vaccine. You're going to die from the vaccine. And then what happened? Biden wins and everything flips. Shouldn't that initially give you a little bit of pause and go, hold on a second? Isn't this shit about health and not about politics? And to that point, has any member of the health staff this entire time got up and actually talked about real health? Have they talked about exercise, a healthy diet, like eating real food, drinking water, taking vitamins, vitamin D deficiency, and what that causes in the body.
I mean,
All right, get right the fuck out of here. Get right the fuck out of here with your pseudoscience horseshit.
I mean, did we?
Okay, all right. Hang on. The reason why people were upset about Trump is because he was rushing the FDA approval process. They thought he was rushing the FDA approval process in order to win the election. Not that he, first of all, the mRNA vaccines were not developed with his input with Operation Warp Speed at all. But did he know that? No.
But remember what we said. We're trying to stay away from the political side of the vaccine.
Okay, but now I have to throw in it. Does it matter who was in office? Because guess what? No, because guess what? This thing was going to be rushed anyways. This thing was always going to be emergency or whatever. When polio was a big when polio was a thing. You think that they took their time and everything? No.
I mean, Nick, I hate to say this though. I don't think it would have mattered who was in the White House.
I don't think it would have
mattered. It would not have mattered. I still would have gotten it.
Right, but I'm saying is I think we would have had hundreds of thousands of deaths regardless, just because this situation was in such a panic mode.
And second of all, he's talking about healthy living. Okay, Mr. Granola Head. First of all, COVID is a virus and it can knock you out the healthy. You could run 20 miles and still end up on a ventilator.
Right.
And I guarantee you do not want that to happen to you.
You could be a bodybuilder, you could be the healthiest person in the world. If you get a virus, you're going down for a week or two until you recover. So here's the problem. Aaron Rodgers could take his politics and shove it up his ass. I could give two shits about what his politics.
But it goes back to, but again, he was saying he was wanted to keep quiet about it. And again, I question if part of that was because around the time, what was the big story of the offseason, fellas? That he wanted out of Green Bay. If something like this leaked, he didn't leave Green Bay regardless, but I think it would have hurt him.
All right, but he's not helping his own case now, by the way.
I know he's not,
Absolutely
but my point now, those who are the fact that, he's saying that people in the Green Bay media knew about this. I mean, maybe this is the only time so far that it could have possibly come up, but the fact that people knew and sat on it,
they gave him the benefit of the doubt because he said he was immunized, and that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say to wrap this up. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we are getting to this point.
But can we say immunized doesn't mean vaccinated? Okay,
exactly. And now they need to be more careful. If they mean vaccinated, say vaccinated.
So wait, are we now going to create the Aaron Rodgers rule? Is that what's going to happen now?
I don't know.
All right, we have a lot more to get through.
that went a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
And I got to get out of here at 6:00 for UFC.
Let's go
at the Garden. So let's wrap things up here a little more. Let's get into the other big story that was going to lead off before that Pat McAfee interview, and that is unfortunately what seems to be the end of the career of Henry Ruggs. Just being drafted and looking like a pretty decent star on the Las Vegas Raiders. Now charged, now facing DUI arrest from an accident, DUI from an accident that results in death. So he's facing charges on that. We've actually learned in the last 24 hours that an additional 2 or 3 charges have been added on, one of which includes possession of a firearm. He is now facing felony charges. He is facing about 40 years or so in jail.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to break this down. So the list of things that we found out on the day that he crashed his Corvette, 156 miles an hour, double 1.161 blood alcohol limit, double the legal limit in Vegas, a loaded handgun, I think, or a revolver, one of the two, and his girlfriend was in the passenger seat.
She survived. I'll be injured.
Somehow she survived because of the impact of hitting the RAV4 with the 23-year-old woman in it. It's crazy. And the dog. Let's not forget that either.
And a dog.
So that car was so crashed on impact. It went 580 feet of distance.
I mean, I really do feel terrible about that somebody had to die because of just poor choices everywhere.
But wait a minute.
Poor choices on the part of Henry Ruggs.
He was
I mean, this is it's a crime, and thank God they're charging him. He killed somebody and was reckless.
He was at Top Golf on the Strip. You're telling me there was no Ubers he could call while being on the Strip and pick up the car the next day?
Supposedly, according to people, that there is something in the NFL. The NFL has a program in which people, Uber drivers and such, will pick up players if they're too drunken up and unable to drive. There's programs out there supposedly that the NFL has for their players.
And why the Raiders didn't take advantage of that, and why he didn't take advantage.
Why Henry Ruggs didn't do that?
It's just
wait a minute.
Beyond me.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that. So if that's the case, I hope he gets the book thrown at him completely because of that.
Oh, I have no doubt he will.
I mean, think about this. Some people will say, "Well, your judgment's going to be, screwed up when you're drunk and stuff." You're telling me he went out to Top Golf with the 23-year-old, his girlfriend,
and friends,
and didn't know he was going to be drinking.
And you know what's even worse?
You wouldn't put that plan in place, a plan in place, beforehand.
I need to ask a weird question about once you get taken out of the car for DUI. This happens a lot. So you get in the car, you make a conscious decision as a drunk to get behind the wheel, drive, crash. But when you get out and the police say, "We want to do a DUI test," how come the drunk people have the mind or tendency to refuse a test after making the decision to do something?
Because they're afraid. Because they're afraid.
No, but why does that click in, but driving drunk and doing all the other shit did?
Well,
I don't know. That I can't answer.
Turn you into a zombie. I mean, you're still aware. You just don't remember it. Your spatial awareness is fine. It's just everything else is just on the fritz. But still, again, let's not take away from the severity of what Henry Ruggs did.
Oh no, I'm not.
He killed somebody.
He killed somebody by driving too fast.
It's DUI with murder.
Well, DUI. It's DUI. Yeah, it's not DUI. It's not DUI with. It's DUI. It's murder. It's murder of a person. It's a murder of an animal. It's severely injuring your own girlfriend based on your own decision.
I think that was one of the new charges, right?
The fact of the matter is, he should not be anywhere near the field, and if he does not get the book thrown at him, and if he finds himself somehow on another team, the NFL has failed. And the legal system of the United States of America has failed.
Oh, I thought of a new
course for them.
I thought of a new terminology for NFL, by the way. No fucking laws.
That works. That works.
No, because what's going to happen is it's the NFL. So what's going to happen is, we got Josh Jacobs, the same lawyers that represented Josh Jacobs when his crash and his accident happened. He's back on the field again. Now, this is way more severe than what Josh Jacobs did.
I was going to say, as bad as the Josh Jacobs situation was, that never resulted in a murder.
But this is the NFL. We saw, who was it? Ray Lewis get back on the field after alleged killing or incident of some sort. Mm-hmm. So I guess you could say that the NFL is full of killers, allegedly. 156 miles an hour. That's all you have to say.
Here's what I'm going to say. No matter what, and this will serve as a good transition. No matter what our New York sports teams, how bad they are on the field, no matter how much, of a downfall the Chiefs have had, the biggest embarrassment of a team in the NFL that needs to be burned to a ground are the Las Vegas Raiders this season.
I mean, I think I said this last week, or I might have said it in the promo. What else could go wrong for the Raiders this year?
Well, let's see. We've had Mr. Gruden being implicated with the whole
racist emails,
right? Which, by the way, again, as much as you want to look at Mark Davis for just how bad the Raiders are in terms of a PR nightmare, I agree with him in that the NFL should be releasing those emails. The fact that this Henry Ruggs thing. Oh, and by the way, gentlemen, last night we learned now we've got Damon Arnette. So, defenseman Damon Arnette. Apparently, a new lawsuit is alleging that there was a violent 2020 car crash. Oh, look at that. Another auto another auto misfire that injured a woman, and now a video has surfaced. Now we cannot play this in social media.
Absolutely
video.
not.
There
Absolutely.
are a number of N-word drops. And I
Now-
don't want to get into this whole who has the right to say the N-word or not. For
Now-
our purposes, for us broadcasting, we cannot play that.
Now,
However,
we would play curses. We would play curses. We'll play anything else, just not the N-word.
Racial slurs? No, that's the line.
So, but there is a photo. Let's see if I couldn't bring it out. But there are photos out there in which he is. Okay, there it is. Let me get this up. But basically,
While
there are
you're
a
setting
couple
that up, while you're setting that up, I was just going to say these pictures are harrowing in a lot of ways.
Well, these are technically not photos. They are stills that come from
Screen grabs.
From screen grabs, correct. From I think it's either Snapchat or Instagram Live. I actually think it's Instagram Live.
It is.
In
It's
which-
Instagram Live.
You want me to bring it up?
Yes, please. All right. Those are the footage. It's
Holy!
him holding what appears to be a machine gun. There is another social media clip in which he is holding a revolver.
Damn!
Okay. Whoever it is that's running player personnel in the Raiders, please stop whatever it is you're doing, and please make sure your players don't kill anybody from here on in,
Wait a minute.
or almost kill somebody. Jesus, Jesus, bike riding Christ! I've never seen anything like this.
I mean, yeah, that's my reaction. Totally. Just like, do you realize? Like, I understand. Like I said before, the NFL might have some alleged killers, drunken drivers, abuse, guns, but Roger Goodell's just going to sit in his corner, eating his bonbons, sucking on his thumb, and just handing out 2 game checks.
Oh, he's not sucking on his thumb. His thumb is somewhere else. Can you guess where it is?
Oh, why? Why did you have to do that? Why?
Are you sure there's not something else stuck up there?
Okay.
Well, why do you think he put the thumb up there in the first place? He has to get it out. All right, moving on.
No, I don't think that's woo worthy.
All right, moving on.
Oh,
All right. So the story that we have been waiting for with Robert Sarver, the one that has the accusations of racism and sexism, it is finally dropped.
oh, Nick and I covered this on Beyond the Bench, and we went into the graphic details of this story to the point where Nick and I'm not kidding, Nick and I actually cringed, and we don't cringe at much.
I actually slumped back in my chair when I was discussing some of this, so I won't relitigate my points here.
No,
What I will
we
say
have
is-
to. Some of
what
it
I-
we have to.
What I will say is I thought that Donald Sterling would be the exception and not the rule. It turns out I may be proven wrong. Now we're going to find out what Adam Silver is actually made of.
Look at all the failure.
I mean, just this story, and I'm not going to read the first parts, but I was reading this to Tom before you got here, Nick, because you and I had talked about this, and like some of the faces he was making were some of the faces you and I were making when we were talking about this story. Now, I have to give some just so because people on the show didn't hear it. So there are some reports of the N-word being used. Apparently, Robert Sarver said, well, Draymond Green's using the N-word. Why can't I use it? Yeah, that's a perfect reason to say to complain about the N-word, right?
Fantastic.
Number 2. The report claims Sarver told a pregnant employee in 2008 she would not be able to do her job because she would be at home breastfeeding all day.
Which
You gotta
he
love
wanted her fired, which
But
falls
Sun-
under
Sun's-
discrimination, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, so
Yeah,
Suns
if I'm
management
going to sit there and guess.
Suns management rebuked Sarver's wishes and did not fire the woman due to her discrimination. Now, hold your breath, everybody. If you're eating, I apologize. Sarver is also accused of showing employees pictures of his wife in a bikini, which he claims was meant to show off team-branded swimsuits that were recently approved for sale.
Jesus H. Christ.
You mean you couldn't just show photos of the item itself, not on a person?
Or you couldn't just like find somebody else that maybe wanted to do it, not his wife?
Maybe you couldn't actually do this shit at work. Maybe there were ways you could do this outside the office.
Just wait.
Maybe.
Wait.
But then again, I'm thinking logically in terms of A leads to B.
Yeah, there's no logic to
So
it.
on. There's no logic here.
I read this
Don't
next
think
one.
like that.
I read this next one to Tom, and Tom almost gave like the huh? And so Sarver is admitting to pulling down an accounting executive's pants in front of fellow employees during the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014, which he reportedly regrets.
Which way to ruin the moment, asshole. Seriously, way to ruin it. Seriously,
Wait.
I've reached my quota of sarcastic clapping.
Wait, regrets? He regrets? That's all
Quote
under.
says. Yeah.
Oh, wait, he regrets this. I salute you, Captain Obvious.
I mean, yeah. And we're not laughing. Let's be very clear.
Speed, you gigantic asshole.
Let's be very clear. We're not laughing at the situation itself. We're laughing at the stupidity of this situation.
Yes.
You can't tell by our sarcastic remarks, Nick?
Yes. But let's go further, okay? Sarver also allegedly made comments to staffers about shaving their private parts, NBA players getting strippers pregnant, and female employees crying too much.
Oh God! I mean, this is just horrifying. This is just. You know what? I don't want to hear it anymore.
Nick,
You know what, Adam?
Nick, I have to read the one that you and I almost like fell off our chairs though for.
What is it?
So others claim Sarver discussed receiving oral sex from his wife, needing to wear, and Nick, this was the one you didn't believe at all, needing to wear extra-sized condoms, and asking players about their sex lives, which he denied.
Hello, Commissioner Silver. Help! Stop it! Please make him stop.
I'm getting flashbacks to Donald Sterling again.
And just nothing else from him, but the quote from a source, an employee. As one employee put the working environment under Sarver, quote, if the commissioner comes in and investigates to see what the fuck is going on in Phoenix, he would be appalled. Thank you, Captain Obvious!
Yes,
Again.
Yes. We salute you.
You know what? And
Controversy.
oh no!
And now, in the last 24 hours, we've heard that a Portland Trail Blazers executive, namely General Manager Neil Olshey, is under investigation for quote-unquote workplace misconduct.
Look at all the failure.
Episode 110 of Empty the Bench. Look at all the failure.
Oh! Why?
So, do we have any details as to why he's being investigated, Mr. NBA?
I'm looking still, but I broke this story last night on our Twitter account.
Okay, well, let's see. Oh, Chris Haynes. Chris Haynes has a story. Okay. The president of basketball operations, Neil Olshey. Employees are alleging a toxic, hostile work environment where staff members were subject to intimidation, profanity-laced tirades, and other bullying tactics.
Of course, because
Leading to mental and with the mistreatment of 10 years, leading to mental and physical stresses on employees.
It seems to be a common theme with these NBA owners. It seems to be a common theme with owners, period.
wait a minute. I missed this today. Apparently, the Trailblazers put out a full statement.
Denying the allegations, and we stand behind our general manager.
No. Hold on.
This is not.
Hold on. The Portland Trailblazers organization was recently notified of concerns around workplace environment by non-player personnel at the practice facility. In response, we immediately engaged. I guess those are some of the names.
They're bringing in an outside investigating firm
with significant expertise in this area to conduct a full, fair, and independent. I question whether it's fair, an independent review into these concerns, and will take appropriate action based on this outcome.
So this story isn't going to be over.
While we cannot comment on this pending matter, we are committed to continuing to build an organization that positively impacts our colleagues, communities, and the world in which we live and play. I'm sorry, but you really think I can take this statement seriously?
No.
How? What?
All right.
I don't know what you want me to say here.
I don't know. I don't know. Just bad. Bad. There's still
bad.
more details that need to be revealed, but this is bad.
Bad NBA, bad.
Bad NBA, bad Aaron Rodgers, bad Raiders, bad.
You're not supposed to piss all over everything. Stop it.
Well, guess what? We're gonna add one more pissing. We're going to take a shot at the NHL. So, do you remember last week, guys? We talked about Brad Aldrich. We talked about this whole Blackhawks controversy that basically led off our episode. And we made mention that there was apparently a second John Doe to this case. The second John Doe referred to in the lawsuit was a high school player, in which in 2014, if I'm not mistaken, if the year is correct, Mr. Aldrich was sentenced to a little less than a year of jail time for sexually abusing the John Doe, who was a high school player, who was a minor. And the NHL Gary Bettman was asked at a conference if they would provide counseling services to this unnamed individual. And Gary Bettman has basically stated no.
Bare minimum Bettman. You gotta love it. You gotta love it, especially in these situations where there is clear and delineated harm being done and still being done. Crossing his name off the Stanley Cup and basically memory holding him from your organization is only going to do so much. The victims still have to heal.
Bettman said he'd need to quote. He said he'd need quote to know more about the situation.
I think it's pretty out in the open what Mr. Aldrich has done, Mr. Bettman. I think it's pretty cut and dry. If I'm going to be honest here.
Hey, Commissioner Bettman, NHL, no help loser.
No help loser. hey, you need some help? No help loser.
I mean, Gary Bettman is the worst commissioner in all of professional sports. Can we just admit that?
We as hockey fans know that already.
Well, I mean, considering the other stories that we've seen over the past year, I think we have a nice little race going on here.
Yes, we do.
I think that I would love to see a fan poll I would love to see a fan poll where people have to answer that who the worst commissioner in sports is.
Or just have Goodell and Bettman in separate stadiums with separate fans and just measure the decibel level of them booing.
Get the out of here.
All right, let's go to a good story. The Atlanta Braves are your World Series champions for the first time since 1995.
Houston, we don't have a problem anymore.
So if you think it's going to stop him from shit-talking the Astros, you are very, very, very mistaken.
No, it's only going to encourage it.
Yes, it's only going to encourage it now. But, I mean, congratulations to the Braves. I mean, they just played fantastic. I'm happy for Freddie Freeman and Ozzie Albies. And really, think about the year that Atlanta has had, having the All-Star game being taken away, and all of a sudden coming back and winning the World Series.
By the way, it took the longest in history to be under 500, to get to 500, and to win the World Series.
The Braves at the time of the All-Star break were 44-45. They had less than a 1% chance of even making the playoffs at this time. You know what this reminds me of, guys? This reminds me of the Blues from a couple of years ago in hockey, how at the All-Star break they were in dead last in the league, and they ended up pulling off an incredible run to win the Stanley Cup. That's what the Braves have essentially done. And consider the fact that at that All-Star break, they lost Ronald Acuna Jr. It looked over for them.
Actually, Troy, they lost him in May.
Yeah, they did. They lost him, but he's saying by the time of the All-Star break, they had already lost him.
Right. And they also lost Soroka too, right?
Yes, they did.
And here's something that Dave O'Brien and Vince Scully pointed out. We talk about the All-Star game, and it was supposed to be in honor of Hank Aaron when it got taken away, and for some reason got played in Colorado, which made no sense. But the Braves' record at the All-Star break was 44-45. They had 44 wins. They somehow won an incredibly competitive, sort of in a bad way,
best record in baseball after the All-Star break.
Right, but they won 44 games after the All-Star break. They won the NL East with a record of 88 and 74. But they go on an incredible run. They won the World Series in the 44th week of the year. Guys, what was Aaron
44.
Number was 44.
By the way, we got to give credit. Give credit to Major League Baseball for the way that they did the honoring of Hank Aaron during the World Series.
Yeah, that was done very well.
They nailed that. Big time.
All of this, I think, makes up for anything that the Atlanta might have lost with the All-Star break.
Well, also, no one wanted to see the cheaters win another World Series.
I mean, it wasn't technically the Braves' fault.
Right, you're right.
That they lost the All-Star game. I mean, you can thank the GOP for that. But still, I mean, congratulations are in order. At the end of the day,
this is
still a great team.
This is honestly one of the most incredible comeback stories for a team that was down in the midseason and pulled off an incredible run. And I guarantee you this, Charlie Morton and the broken leg, that goes up there in some of the better World Series, better postseason moments. I think it might even overtake the Kurt Schilling and the bloody sock.
I'm going to say it. Kurt Schilling, eat your heart out.
That's a tough one because Schilling, I think, pitched 8 innings in that game.
I am very much going to say
but an entire leg being broken?
No, agreed. And trust me, it's an act of heroism, if you ask me. But, excuse me, if Charlie Morton doesn't break his leg, that series is over quicker. It just is. Because Charlie Morton was pitching well. So that series is probably over in 5 games. Or even 4, depending.
But still, they did it. They did what they needed to do, and they got it. So congratulations to them.
Freddie Freeman, 12 seasons in Atlanta. He's another forever lifer, I think, in Atlanta.
Well, that's the thing. He's a free agent. And goddamn, if his time in Atlanta has come to an end, the way he did it by hitting the final home run.
You want to go out if you're going to go out.
A home run.
They better sign him back. They have no choice.
Dansby Swanson. I followed this guy from the time he was drafted as the number 1 overall pick in 2015. Going into that, I forget what I was doing. I think I was doing some little blog stuff, and we were talking about potential number 1 picks, and he was one of them. And my God, he has, ever since he has been traded to Atlanta, he has turned into a real star. This guy, he was definitely one of the better contributors to this team.
Are we forgetting also that all the trades they made at the trade deadline, they were all MVPs of each series?
Right. Jock Peterson.
Jock Peterson and his lucky pearls throughout the whole playoffs. Eddie Rosario making that unbelievable catch in left field.
Darno behind the plate.
Darno behind the plate. Who was the other outfielder that they got? I don't remember. But Rosario and Jock came up. Soler, right. Soler was the World Series MVP.
Yes, he was.
These were all dead players in other organizations that came through in the clutch.
It's everything you want out of a World Series winning team.
By the way, would you say the Braves are like heroes in a sense for dethroning the Astros too?
Yes.
I mean, not just for dethroning the Astros, but just the incredible run that they had. I think that they are quite possibly. Everyone's going to say, the Bucks were the best champions of the season because they won the Super Bowl after signing Tom Brady. I think probably the best champion of the sports year so far is the Atlanta Braves.
But we would have despised baseball if the Astros won the World Series. We would.
Well, we're gonna despise baseball anyway once the players go on strike next month.
It's a spectator sport, hating the MLB proper.
You accurately said it at the end of the intro. We're going on a strike. We're going on a strike.
Yeah, I said we'll enjoy this Braves victory. We'll enjoy this free agency for a month, and then when the players go on strike, fuck baseball.
December 1st, 11:59 p.m. We'll be all over it. All right, let's move on.
Man, just think about it. How bad everything is in all the leagues. Could you imagine if Vince McMahon just started his own, not even just one sports league, if he started his own sports empire? The XFL comes back, the XVA is installed, we have the XLB and the XHL.
The XLL, lacrosse.
XLL. How about X-Car, NASCAR?
X-Car. X-Naked Wrestling.
Oh, God.
The XFC.
Quick, somebody stop him.
Suck it, Dana.
Move on.
All right.
Oh, where do we go from here?
Let's run through a whole bunch of another news headlines. Odell Beckham Jr. So let's start with the NFL trade deadline, but Odell Beckham has made his own headline. So it was inevitable. The whole feeling was inevitable that he was going to be moved at the trade deadline. Well, no, he hasn't, and now he has officially been released by the Cleveland Browns.
So I don't think it's entirely his fault. I think that...
Yes, it is.
I mean, of course, because you've always thought that man is a loudmouth, but...
What do you mean? Of course he is.
He is a loudmouth, Nick.
He is, but he's my loudmouth, goddammit.
No. Oh, why? Because you're a Giants fan and you're going to hold on to him forever?
Yes. Considering the direction the team has gone in the last 5 years, I think that's pretty well warranted. Mr.
Nick,
I
think the Giants would have been fucked whether they kept him or traded him.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw the tweet I put out after the breaking news. I said, can you imagine if I started a rumor that Odell Beckham Jr. would be back in a Giants uniform?
That's not going to help matters. I mean...
I probably would have thrown something at you.
That wouldn't be the first or the last time you've done that.
Honestly, this Giants rebuild should have happened once they started, 0-something in 2013?
Can we not?
Again, but if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a merry...
I don't want to hear it. The Jets are worse right now and beyond.
Mike White. Oh, wait. He's injured.
It's the experience.
Josiah Johnson, I think, who it is. I think
Joe. It's the Joe Flacco experiment.
Yeah, the all elite Joe Flacco.
I'll take your flack and shove it up
all over again. Oh God.
Oh God.
Does that relate to New York sports or just the leagues in general?
Both.
No, the Jets.
Yes. Okay. The other name that we thought was going to be moved at the trade deadline was Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, the rumors had circulated, that a deal with Miami was in place, but Miami wanted to know about the status with his legal issues and what the NFL was going to do about it. The NFL said, we can't do anything about it until the legal matters play out. And the result is Deshaun Watson is still in Houston, somewhere where, number one, he can't play because of the legal issues, and number two, he doesn't want to play.
Well, there was a report that Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, said, I won't do the deal unless there's 22 confirmed settlements. That was what he said. He wouldn't do the deal then.
Which he's covering his ass, and I can't blame him for covering his ass.
Well, I mean, would you trade for someone that's a major headache like that? No,
especially not with the legal baggage.
And if I'm Houston, what did we say, guys, last week? That we're not doing this deal unless we can
get something ready at quarterback.
And that is Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is I admit Tua is a little bit of a disappointment in Miami, but I don't think that's necessarily his fault.
A change of scenery may be necessary.
Exactly. What do the Dolphins have? The Dolphins have some okay pieces, but Will Fuller hasn't played this season. He's been injured. Devontae Parker just went on the injured reserve. Myles Gaskin has been okay as a running back. Gesicki's been good, but what are the pieces on the offensive line and the defensive
Nothing.
line? They really have nothing.
I mean, to be quite honest, like if the Dolphins were invisible, no one would know the difference. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let me ask a question though. Since we're the two desperate teams that are flailing for quarterbacks, would you take him? And I would ask the same question to myself as a Jet fan. Would you take him?
I think for the case of the Jets, you guys are so miserable, and you guys have been so swerved in controversy that I think you guys would take. Let's say he gets suspended a year. I think you guys would take that hit in order to have him in the long term. The same kind of argument we were saying with the Eagles, which I never understood because I have said that I like Jalen Hurts and what he can offer.
Well, I think I think the Eagles are being assholes about that whole situation, but
I also like the Gardner Minshew meme, but they are screwing that situation up.
Gardner Minshew should not be in this league. That's my opinion on the matter. At all.
As for the Giants,
I think Danny Dimes is heading out the door.
I think, well, if Danny, you know what I think. If Danny Dimes heads out the door and maybe Saquon heads out the door, there's somebody bigger who's heading out the door. That means.
All right, can we for a second take a pause and just admit that Saquon's not a top running back?
He's too hurt.
He's too hurt. But again, I think that situation about Saquon, I think that is the Giants again shooting themselves in the foot. And you know who it goes back to? It goes back to a certain situation of a certain quarterback who's now quarterbacking the Seahawks in Geno Smith. If you start Davis Mills that week, you pull Eli, and Mills sucks, guess what you say then? We need a quarterback.
I mean, the Giants and especially the Jets, but the Giants are also fucked this year.
Well, I was going to say, the only thing is, as far as I know, the one quarterback they were looking at potentially competing with Saquon was your old friend, Mr. Darnold, who was proven to be a failure. Now that the Panthers are back down to earth, let's admit it.
And McCaffrey's back now.
But again, either way, that Panthers team does not run through Sam Darnold. That team runs through
McCaffrey.
That team with Christian McCaffrey.
Let's put it this way. The NFL has a lot of injury issues, a lot of COVID issues. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And by the way, speaking of injuries, if we move to the next slide.
Oh, yeah. So, Derrick Henry. And I said Derrick Henry was going to be better than Saquon and Alvin Kamara. And now he's pretty much out for the rest of the year.
By the way, even with Derrick Henry missing the rest of the season, his season will still be better than Saquon's. Still.
Fair. And maybe and if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, his season will still be better than McCaffrey's.
I mean, can we just admit that anyone, and I saw this all over social media, can we stop saying Saquon's a top 3 running back? He's not. That's it.
He has the ability to be, but he doesn't have the what do they call it?
He doesn't have. First of all, he doesn't have the reps.
He doesn't have the injury resistance.
But
he doesn't have the injury
reps.
resistance.
They don't rely on him to run the football.
I disagree. I think I think maybe not this season or last season, but I think when he first got there, 18-19, I think they over-depended on him.
You know why he stopped constantly on the line? Because they're forcing the Jets to run the football because they have no wide receiver threats.
And that's the thing. I think, and that's part of Danny's failure, I think, is because Sterling, Slayton, Galladay, Ross. I said this. I think they've improved in the wide receiver game, but to call them an elite wide receiver squad.
By the way, but to put a bow on this one, the Titans season is over. It's over.
Well, I mean, we'll have to see what Jeremy McNichols could do, and Adrian Peterson. I swear he and Frank Gore never go away. I guarantee you. If a running back injury happens now, and the next running back injury, Frank Gore is going to somehow come back.
Nick, are we going to have to listen to child abuse stories all over again?
No, because I'm not going to bring it up. I already said my piece about that.
No.
They keep pretending that it's 2007 again.
I'm just saying.
I mean, let's be fair here. The Ravens think it's 2017 that they have Le'Veon Bell and Devonta Freeman at their running back helm.
Well, why don't we just go back to 2001? Because that's what it felt like. Just like we're partying like we're rock stars here.
All right. Let's say goodbye in a way to an absolute legend in Buster Posey.
Wait, did someone say goodbye?
No, don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that. Come on. Now the Giants fans are going to come after us.
You're an asshole.
Oh, come on. I meant that in a good way, not a bad way.
You're an asshole.
Why?
That's the song we use for the bad guy.
Assholes leaving.
It doesn't have to. No, it could be for positives too. There's no connotation.
Yeah, stop doing that.
I like Buster Posey. What do you? I actually a Buster Posey fan.
So Buster Posey has hung it up at the age of 34, and he's going out in the wake of his best statistical season in a while. But he wanted to spend time with his family, and after three World Series, three World Series, an MVP, and a Silver Slugger award. I mean, he's definitely first ballot Hall of Famer.
He checked the boxes.
Definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Now, he could have played another 3 years if he
didn't
really
want to do it. And you know what? That was completely on him.
And he's a catcher. Catchers,
he is Mr. San Francisco Giant. And the fact that he was able to do that with one team and one team only, it's something to be celebrated.
All right, we got to move on very quickly here. We are going way over time. All right, just quick thought. Mayor-elect Eric Adams, he has won the election here in New York City. He'll be installed as mayor come January, and he's stated that New York City will not change the vaccine rules and has publicly stated Kyrie Irving is essentially, quote, on his own.
Your move, Kyrie.
I mean, I could have told you this was going to happen. I mean,
I told you guys, you guys, as little value as you're going to get, the best thing right now is just you got to trade him.
It's not going to happen because he's not going to play.
Yeah, but if he gets moved to the Rockets or something, somewhere.
Yeah, but you still have to travel to New York and play games and stuff. I mean,
yeah, but the number of places where he's going to be able to play, I mean, it's more limited here than it is, say, in Houston or in or somewhere out west. Any of the Western teams, really, except for California-based teams like the Warriors.
NBA, nothing but assholes. That's the way.
By the way, we have more COVID positive tests. Sidney Crosby's positive for COVID. Brian Dumoulin, a defenseman on that Penguins team, positive for COVID.
Here's what I'll say: even if you've gotten COVID, even if you've gotten the vaccine, make sure you wear a mask. And if you haven't gotten the vaccine, get the vaccine. That's all I'll say.
Oh, by the way, Chris Middleton's also positive for COVID in the NBA.
And it goes for Chris Middleton, too.
Oh, I can't take this. No.
Now we're having it. Okay, there we go. All right. Very quickly, rapid rundown. Very quick.
We made it.
All right, rapid rundown.
Let's go.
Texans, Dolphins. The Dolphins are a 6.5 favorite.
Dolphins.
You know, it's crap versus shit. And I'm going to go with the crap. I'm going to go with Dolphins.
Who was the one that said that this was the ironic matchup, by the way? Was that you, Tom?
Well, right. Guys, Texans, Dolphins. We just had Deshaun Watson.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine if there was a trade? This would have been, you would have just been switching locker rooms.
Yep. But they're not. And so I go Miami because at least they look more like the team.
Take the money!
Broncos, Cowboys. Cowboys, -10 favorites. They're at home, so I get they're the favorite and such. They're an incredible team. The Broncos are about 500, but...
Dak's a game-time decision, but it looks like he's going to play.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
I'll go boys, but I don't say take the money. I don't take that line.
Yeah, Cowboys don't take the money.
Don't take the money. Vikings, Ravens. Ravens 5.5 favorite at home. Take the money.
Take the money.
Take the money.
Raiders and the Giants. The Raiders are the -3 favorite.
On the road.
Yeah, they're on the road. I know they have all those controversies on here. I
But
will
take
laugh
the
my
money.
I will laugh my ass off if the Giants somehow win, just to add to the misery. But take the money.
Is it bad that we think that even with all the issues they're having, that they're still going to cover and win?
Nick, all the issues they're having, they're 5-2. They're first place in the AFC West.
I give them absolute credit in the world. Take the money. But wow.
Browns and the Bengals. The Bengals -2.5 favorite. Take the money.
Take the money.
God, if I could stop choking. Take the money.
Falcons and Saints. So the Saints end up defeating the Bucs for both regular season matchups. But
So take the money.
Jameis Winston is now out. And so it's either going to be Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian in at quarterback in New Orleans.
Still, it's the Falcons. Take the money.
Yeah, take the money.
Okay, take the money. Here we go. The biggest line of the week. Bills, Jaguars. The Bills are a -14.5 on the road.
Take the money.
I
Ooh.
might even say take the money. It's the Jaguars. They look terrible. It's the AFC Super Bowl favorite versus
The
whatever the
basement favorite.
Jaguars is.
So this is essentially a 2-touchdown favorite.
Yep.
I mean, the Jaguars are bad. Didn't they win last week, though?
No, a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, was that a couple
That was in London. That was
Oh,
in
God.
London
Wow.
against the Dolphins.
Time flies. God damn it. All right, take the money. God.
Patriots and Panthers. The Patriots are a -4 favorite on the road.
McCaffrey's back.
McCaffrey is back. You know what? Let's take a trip, guys. I'm going to Upset City. I'm going.
Whoa!
I'm not. I'm taking the money.
Oh, great. Now I have to be the in-between guy. Why does this always happen to me? I mean, McCaffrey's not... he's back, but he hasn't had the reps. I like Mac Jones. Yeah, I'm gonna take the money on this one.
Chargers, Eagles, take that money. Take that Justin Herbert money. How is this only a 1.5? I take the Justin Herbert
Take
money.
the Justin Herbert money.
Like I said early on, top 3 MVP. Take the money.
Here's an interesting one. Cardinals, 49ers. The Cardinals are a -1. Another top 3 MVP, Kyler Murray. Take the money.
And by the way, the Cardinals lost last week because their wide receiver was facing the wrong direction. Just saying.
Okay, Packers, Chiefs. It's a shame Aaron Rodgers again is on the COVID because this could have been such an incredible matchup.
Yeah,
Take
but
the
wait a
money.
minute. But wait. We're talking about the Chiefs who almost blew it to the Giants last week.
That's true
Still,
too. And
take
we
the
have
money.
an NFL debut. The first career start for Jordan Love, who everyone was shocked by the picking last year and shocked at how quick it seemed like he was going to overtake Rodgers at the starting helm. This will be fun to watch, but I still am going to take the money.
The best way I could describe this is you have essentially a rookie quarterback making his first official start.
It
So
it rarely ever goes well.
Yeah, it rarely ever goes well. Patrick Mahomes looks like shit lately because his offensive line is not protecting him. But in this case, I'm going to take the mentality of the rookie quarterback. So take the money.
All right, here we go. Sunday Night Football. Quite an interesting matchup, but again, an injury ruins this. Could you imagine if Derrick Henry was playing? It was Derrick Henry versus that Rams defense. That would have been such an incredible matchup. Instead, we're going to really see Ryan Tannehill be tested. Are AJ Brown and Julio Jones, are they both in?
I thought Julio Jones was out last week.
I know Julio Jones was out last week. Let's see the Titans injury report for week 10. Let's see if we get any updates on those guys.
I think he had a foot injury, right?
For week 9. Let's see. Julio Jones, hamstring, game status. Says a minus. So no word on if he's going to play or not. AJ Brown is questionable. So it looks like Julio Jones so far is going to play.
Okay.
I would imagine
it doesn't
AJ
matter. It doesn't matter.
I think the Rams
Rams.
defense is. I think the Rams defense is going to be a little too tough. I think Stafford has had incredible connections with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods.
He's the leading guy this year, Cooper Kupp,
Yeah.
in receiving yards.
Yep.
By the way, no King Henry, no win. Take the money.
Take the money. Take the money.
Yeah, take the money. Yeah.
All right. Monday Night Football. I want to go find a bucket I can puke in.
This is bad.
Is terrible.
I mean,
I'm just gonna take it short and take the Steelers.
The
As
Bears. The Bears, like, I think the Steelers tend to play down to their competition, but my God, the Bears are playing to a level of bad. I'm disappointed in Justin Fields.
me too. Big time.
And by the way, I'm in a league with some of my coworkers, and it's only an 8-person league, and there I did it. I pulled the trigger. I have dropped A-Rob. I have given up on Allen Robinson.
Oh.
He is not going to make a second half comeback.
Oh, wow.
I think the more interesting person on that Bears team right now is that young running back that they got, Khalil Herbert.
As much as I hate Big Ben for his horrible attitude and arrogance,
as much as I think he has gotten old and decrepit to the point where he shouldn't be playing again, the Steelers look like the legit team. Najee Harris looks like a running back to keep your eye on for the future. I got to go Steelers, take the money.
yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers. As much as I want to see Justin Fields destroy the crap out of Ben Roethlisberger, take the money.
And your Week 10 Thursday matchup that we don't have a line for, it's Ravens-Dolphins. Eesh.
I'm taking the Ravens.
You got to go with the Ravens on this.
Take the money. And yes, I'm saying that again without a line.
We don't even know the line. And
Take the line.
Pick whatever the money is, take it.
Take the money. It's the Ravens. Take the money.
I mean, the Ravens, maybe their running back game's a little, but you know what? Lamar Jackson is just the Superman of that team. And again, what the hell did the Dolphins really have to offer to counteract the Ravens? Nothing. Nothing. That's your answer.
By the way, Adam Schefter did put out the injury report,
Yes.
and Devontae Parker, one of the Dolphins, is on the injury report.
I said that last week. He just got placed on injured reserve. I just said before.
Saquon's on the injury report as well. He's out.
Not that makes a difference.
Sterling Shepard's out as well.
Not that makes a difference.
So the Giants basically have nobody.
Yes.
All right. This has been a long and loaded episode. I've got UFC coverage in about 8 minutes. So
Yes.
I got to get the hell out of here. So make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe. And when you subscribe on YouTube, what are you going to do?
You're going to ring the bell.
You're
going
to act like a WWE timekeeper and you're going to ring the bell. So that way you get notified for all of our videos as soon as they go up. And
Ring
all
the
of our
bell.
live streams as soon as they go up.
Ring the bell, ring it again, ring it 1,000,000 times, and still keep ringing it. Ugh.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at ETV Sports, and you can see right now, one last time, our personal Twitter accounts scrolling at the bottom there.
And follow at ETV Network as well.
Yeah, all the different shows, Beyond the Bench, Living Life.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of different ones coming up soon.
Yeah, November's coming. Well, November is here, and we got a couple more ones planned at the ready.
Yeah, in the chamber. We're ready to lock and load.
All right. But until next time, this is Tom Albano along with Nick Morgasen, Nick Fodera, signing off. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.